Welcome to For the Love of Brickle. How you doing? So glad to meet ya. Come and just stories just for a few. Hello, good day, and howdy do. Welcome to For the Love of Brickle, featuring Powder. Ruff! Oh boy. Welcome, my people. I'm your girl Brickle. I always give you the ups and downs of things that occur in life. Though, so now Sally was not always a 1 foot girl. She was normal, just like most of us. Most of us. Yeah. She loves her sports, especially swimming. She participates in all type of sports apart from swimming, such as netball, tennis, football, golfing, you name it. And she was slim, tall, fair skinned, very attractive. The most attractive part of her was, her eyes. She was never a shy girl at all. She always wants to get involved in things to challenge her. So she joined even spelling bee competitions. She joined Red Cross. She joined chess. Heck, she could even sing as well. She is a strong young lady with a wealth of knowledge, intelligence. She's intellectual, always aiming for the best. Sally is always smiling, even on her bad days. Wah, wah, wah. She is a ray of sunshine and joy. This magic moment. But one day, everything changed. After Sally completed high school, the next move was college. Now, Sally had diabetes, but she'd been taking her medication and she was on strict dieting, so she thought she had everything under control. But one day she woke up and placed 1 foot on the floor, which was her right foot, and started staring at the other one that was not moving and still on the bed. So she used her phone and not the top part of her toes, and she couldn't really feel much of anything. So she tried moving her toes on her own, but there was little to no movement, which more looked like no movement at all. Kind of when you're hoping, you're just thinking maybe it's little movement, but there was none at all. So she cried out and said, "Mommy, mommy, mommy, oh mom!" So her mom came rushing to her room and asked her, "Sally, what happened?" And Sally stammered a little and said, "Mom, my my foot, it's not moving. It's not moving. Look, I can hardly move my toes." So mom looked at her foot and she didn't say anything at all because she didn't want to say she don't see any movement at all to make her feel extra worse. So instead of that, she just tried to lift, Sally off the bed, and they made their way downstairs to the vehicle, and Sally, helped herself as well by hopping on 1 foot. So the mother rushed her to the hospital. After hours of waiting, the doctor finally attended to her, asked her some questions and everything, and asked the mom to leave the room so they could perform the surgery. So after a few hours of performing the surgery, while the mother was in the waiting area, one of the doctor came out and spoke to the mom and said, "Hey, Sally's mom, um, Sally has diabetes, as we know." And the mom said, "Yes, she does, and we put her on the strict medication and diets and everything." And he said, "Yes, I know, but her diabetes turned into PAD, which is peripheral artery disease, which caused her blood vessels to narrow, and it also reduced the blood flow to her leg and foot. And if we didn't amputate her leg, her foot, she would be legless instead of footless. And the mother screamed on top of her voice, "Oh my gosh, she just graduated from high school. This happened to her right now. Oh my gosh, can I see my daughter?" And the doctor said, "Yes, you soon see her. They're putting on her cast and everything." So the doctor sat with Sally's mom for a while until the nurses called them in to see Sally. So as the mom creaked the door open, she saw Sally looking out of this world, like her world is crashing down on her, you know. Sally definitely wasn't smiling. She was not her usual self at all. She was out of it, like she just think this is it right now. And then she started to complain and say, "Oh my gosh, she soon start college and all of this gonna happen now. Oh my gosh, her life over now." And the doctor said, "Don't talk like that. Don't look at it as a bad thing. You just need time to heal and take your medications. I am sure you don't want to be in school, around campus and hopping around with a foot that needs to be healed properly, do you?" And Sally sighed and said, "Yeah, you're right. I just have to learn how to live with the new me now." But before we go any further, please remember to like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell. Please remember to select all so that you can receive all notifications every time I upload a new video. Please remember to leave a comment in the comment section. Make it humorous vibes and all those good things. Yes. So 17-year-old Sally, after experiencing those late night heavy breathing and even sometimes early morning heavy breathing, she was feeling pain in every motion, every movement she made. And she had the phantom pains, which is normal because her foot is missing. So oh my gosh, she had a warm time. She had to be in a wheelchair and sometimes she had to use crutches. And the doctor got around to, making her get used to the artificial foot that she can feel like, say, a part of her isn't actually missing. So by the time she was 18 plus, she was back to doing all the sports she loved, and that smile came back on her face. And the artificial foot and her has become, the best of friends. So, of course, she continued doing her exercises, recommended by the doctor and everything, to keep, the muscles and everything intact. By the time she was in her third year of college, at 21 years old, she gained even more confidence and was ready to date. No guy at school had the confidence to ask her out on a date. Can you believe it? So she took it to online. Thank God for online, right? So she came across two guys she liked. One named Greg and one named Russell. Greg was tall, 6'7", charming, smile, dark skinned, studying medicine, plays football, and has a great fitness physique. He doesn't have a six-pack, but he's definitely in shape. All his muscles are toned. He believes that first dates should be one to you should dress up for. Russell, on the other hand, was 6'1". He's also dark skinned, a chef, has dimples when he smiles, wears a little beard. He's also in shape, but not as fit as Greg, and he wants his first date to be at the beach. So Sally chose to go on a date with Greg first because she doesn't have, the confidence to show her feet on the beach. So might as well she work with Greg, who believes in dressing up for her date, for her first date. So she wore sneakers on her first date. And she wore, a nice trendy outfit as well. So they met. She met the very tall and handsome Greg. Yes, people. So they sat there having a great conversation while placing their order. So Sally stood up a little to draw her chair forward to feel, more comfortable and near to the table. Then suddenly, oh boy, Greg looked down, down, down at her left foot. Her shoelace was untied, people. Oh my. So he said, Sally, your shoelace is untied, but no need to worry, I'll tie it for you. So as Greg touched the lace, he dropped them back on the floor without tying them and started folding Sally's pants twice. And Sally was more busy holding her breath more than looking down. Greg didn't see any artificial foot, but his knuckles knocked against the foot as he was finished tying the laces. Then Greg stood up and looked at Sally and said, I see you wearing a wooden foot. What happened? He looked a little, uncomfortable. Maybe he looked a little creeped out, but he claimed that he had no problem. So he said, Sally started screwing at first, and then Greg told her, it's okay. I am studying medicine, so I am not judging you. So that made Sally feel, relieved. So she started giving him the entire story. Oh boy, Sally. So they both were still, messaging online. And a few weeks after that, Sally noticed that Greg was giving certain hints when messaging, and he started to call her, okay, sis, thanks, sis, good night, sis, and sometimes he called her dear instead of saying, hi, beautiful, good night, beautiful, or hey, pretty girl, good night, pretty girl, like he usually does. But their dating was still early, still fresh, so she and him, used to message every night, but that turned into 2 or 3 times a week. And he hasn't asked her out on a second date yet. So Sally started thinking that maybe Greg was waiting on her to ask, she's trying to look at the brighter side of things. So Sally sent a message that said, hey Greg, when can we meet again? So here comes the excuses, people. Greg seen her message first of all, meaning he viewed her message that same night and didn't respond until 4 days later. People, that not cold. That's so cold. And his message said, I have to calm down my chill time to do more studying because almost every other day was a test day at school. And I'm studying medicine, so I know you will understand. So Sally was depressed because she talked so much about her foot disaster to him, thinking he actually understood. But he actually instead lost interest because she's in real life a 1-foot girl. Oh my. Oh gosh, Sally. At the same time, while Sally was feeling down about things not working out between she and Greg, Russell was sending in messages, checking upon her every day as usual, and she always responded to him with some simple messages, trying not to entertain him too much because she was more focusing on Greg. But she answered every message he sent her though, unless she has manners, right? So one day, she paid Greg a visit at his college and asked a few of his peers where he was. So they directed Sally to the field where, he works out. So Sally sat at a distance so that Greg couldn't see her so readily and watched him. And as soon as she opened her mouth with the first part of his name saying, "Girl," a very pretty girl with the perfect hourglass figure, massive cup size, as in her breast size was almost triple the size of Sally's. And she walked up in a very stuck on nurse uniform and wrapped her hands around his waist. And he lifted her up, placed her on some higher steps, and kissed her. And at this moment, all Sally could hear was, "Love you like you do, la la, love me like you do. Love me like you do, la la, love me like you do." And they kissed for 2 minutes. Oh my gosh. At this moment, Sally couldn't find the will to stand up. She just sank deeper and deeper in the chair until one of his friends shouted across the field saying, Hey Greg, a girl was asking for you earlier." So Greg yelled back while scratching his head. At this moment, his girlfriend gave him some space, and then he said back to his friend, "Really, you sure?" Then his friend spinned around and said, while pointing, "Ah, there she is. At this moment, Sally was halfway trying to stand up to support her body, which was very weak after, visualizing that Greg had a girlfriend. Oh, then Greg's eyes met hers, and he rested his hand so fast, covering his forehead, then his eyes. Then his girlfriend looked up at him, asking what happened, as Sally walked away as fast as possible while looking back at him with fire in her eyes. And it's not the type of fire that is a fall in love fire in the eyes type of thing. It's more like wish you didn't exist on this earth type of look. But the field was so big that it took a while for Sally to actually be out of sight. So the girlfriend noticed Sally was walking away as Greg sat down on the field with his head down. Oh my gosh. If you ever saw Greg's friend fighting to not laugh, knowing that he, messed up the whole, mojo between Greg and his girlfriend, he was fighting not to laugh because he realized that, oh my gosh, he's definitely busted now. People, oh gosh, poor Sally. She was more than torn up about that, people. So, people, stay tuned for part two and find out what happens to Sally. Find out if she, spoke to Greg, if Greg actually apologized. Stay tuned for part two and find out, people. I'm your girl, Brickle. I always give you the ups and downs of things that occur in life. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell. Please remember to select all so that you can receive all notifications every time I upload a new video. Please remember to leave a comment in the comment section. Make it humorous, vibesy, and all those good things. Oh boy. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Love you all. Peace. Mwah.